Well, 8:15, let's get back to the train derailment. Breaking news near Joshua Road in Whitemarsh. We want to get an update from Jen because she's at the command post and she's been getting some really important details.
Yeah, so here's what we know so far, right? The only thing that has kind of left its secure container inside those train cars. Remember, there's several train cars. They've derailed. At least one cul-de-sac was evacuated because authorities of all kinds were worried about what could have leaked out of that train car. And here's what we do know, according to the Whitemarsh Township Police Department. Basically, the only thing that kind of, leaked or got out of a secure container inside those train cars is something called silicone pellets. Now, what those silicone pellets were going to be used for, or, why they were being transported, we really don't know. But here's what we do know. Those silicone pellets are not harmful to the community. So obviously they saw something was leaking out of these train cars. Out of an abundance of caution, they wanted to make sure that everyone in this area was safe. They did mandatory evacuate one cul-de-sac. Other homes in that area were also asked to, get out of the way, be out of harm's way. The other thing that they were worried about, guys, is, there were families in that neighborhood and they have to go to work and they have to go to these places, and they were worried that at some point that maybe, some of the blockages of the roads would prevent them from leaving. So they really wanted to make sure that anyone and everyone that could be, gotten out of the way, or make sure that they could, move out of the way so the emergency crews could get in, that happened. And certainly, as far as we can see, it was flawless and awesome. I will say, if you were living in one of those homes on the cul-de-sac, you got a very alarming knock on the door very early this morning, like the people that we met, Mallory and her mom, Bridget. You said you got woken up by some guys who were wearing uniforms, yeah?
Yes.
So how'd that go?
It was shocking to see at like 6 in the morning, but
they knocked on the door.
Yeah, they knocked on the door, and it woke my parents and I up, and we went downstairs, and the dogs were all rallied up, our 2 dogs.
What did they say to you guys?
They said a train has derailed on the tracks right nearby, and for safety, they're evacuating 2 of the cul-de-sacs and to come here.
She's got it pretty good.
Yeah, that's the
You
story.
must have been very scared.
It was alarming, yes.
Yeah. You're here without shoes.
Correct.
Because they said get out now, and that's exactly what
Correct.
you guys did.
Yep, work phone, personal phone, when my kid, that's it.
So originally, these families that were evacuated were told to go to the Whitemarsh Elementary School, and many of them did. There were phone chargers and bathrooms and water, things that they might need in case of that emergency. The other thing that was going on there is that medics from the fire department were kind of like getting a list and checking it twice. They wanted to know who from that neighborhood did evacuate, because everyone was told to do so, but they wanted to know the numbers. For instance, at Mallory's house, she has a couple teenage sons. They weren't sleeping at home last night. They were at friends. So they really wanted a good number of how many people were in that area and how many people had left that area. And because everyone, took the information very seriously, they were able to do so. So all of the homes, specifically on one cul-de-sac, were evacuated. They listened to authorities and everything really went smoothly. In fact, many of the people were able to get themselves together and go to work. So they had somewhere to go for the bulk of the day. So just as a recap, initially that was a staging area because everyone has found some other place to be while this train derailment is investigated. They really don't need to hold that open anymore. So at this point, no resident is over at Whitemarsh Elementary School. Here is where the authorities are. We are here at Whitemarsh Township, their township building, which also houses their police department. And if you are living in this area, the officers have said, check out their Facebook page, because the Whitemarsh Township Police Department Facebook page has all of the information that they want the community to know, including, if you are just joining us, the only thing that they believe that leaked out of the cars involved in this train derailment is something called silicone pellets. Certainly there might have been other things in other cars, but at this point, those things are still secure. So again, the silicone pellets are the only things that leaked out of, if you will, a secure compartment. And at this point, the Whitemarsh Township Police Department, Fire Department, Montgomery County, emergency response teams all believe that those pellets do not pose a threat to the community. And so that's one of the reasons why things are being scaled down. Certainly there is going to be a major investigation trying to figure out what led to the train derailment, right? Because you've seen the images of this. It was significant. Many rail cars in Montgomery County derailed in the middle of, like a wooded area. Certainly no one wants to see that. But at this point, the information we're getting, guys, is that the community is safe. Of course, this investigation is ongoing, and we're going to be here throughout the day.
We certainly will. And those are some very important updates. And as you mentioned, several cars, 15 to 20 train cars were derailed in that crash there. So
well, it's encouraging at this point. And now, of course, the cleanup continues. They want to make sure that all the cars are still intact when they remove them as well. So we're going to stay on top of this and get back live to both scenes that we're following, not just at Jenn's location, but Shana as well in the intersection where they're still telling residents to stay away as they investigate the 15 to 20 cars that have derailed from the CSX train. We'll have much more coming up in just a bit. Stay with us.